Welcome to Lesson 6. This is part 3 of 7 parts. Be sure you have completed all prior videos before watching this one. In this segment, we're going to discover how to enter recurring project tasks. Recurring tasks are often a part of a project. For example, we may have a weekly status meeting every Friday we want to build into the plan as a reminder to team members they need to attend. Right now, our project lasts for the entire month of January, so we need to have Friday meetings from 1/1/2016 through 1/31/2016. To add this to the plan, leave a blank task and then insert a recurring task. The interface is very similar to Outlook calendar recurring dates and other Microsoft product recurring dates and meetings. In the duration box, put 1H to represent a 1-hour meeting. In the recurrence pattern, we want the meetings to occur weekly on Fridays. Our start date is 1/1/2016, and our end date or end by date is 1/31/2016. We also want to avoid having project status meetings when the whole team is scheduled to be off. You'll notice the task appears to be a part of the public launch phase by default, so we can use the outdent function so it stands alone. At this point, if you want to be sure an hour is subtracted for the meeting, be sure to assign participating team members to this task. This may overallocate some team members. Not a serious overallocation, so you don't necessarily have to do anything. One other way of handling this, which I mentioned at the beginning of this course, is to define team members with 80% capacity to allow for some time off and meetings. In this navigation session, we'll look at adding recurring tasks. Now, recurring tasks are very useful, particularly for reminders. The reminders might be about any kind of review or meeting, like a risk review or a communications plan review, a status meeting, a budget meeting, or maybe just simply that status reports and status updates are due from the team. So recurring meetings, I typically put at the end of the plan, and I like to skip a space to keep it separated from the rest of the plan. And let's go then to our Task tab, and we'll insert a task, but we're going to pick Recurring Task. And the task name, let's call this Weekly Status Meeting. And our duration, as we said, was 1 hour. And it's going to occur weekly on Fridays. And so we want it to begin on 1/1/2016. Now, our project actually does go a little bit beyond the end of January, but typically we might schedule a different type of meeting for that last Friday, like a lessons learned or a team celebration. So let's just have the status meetings go through the end of January. And that would be January 29th would be the last Friday. So now we can click OK, and we can see in the grayed out portion that there are going to be 5 occurrences of the status meeting. So it also says here that one of them would occur during non-working time, and that in particular is our New Year's Day off. So project can reschedule the tasks to occur at the first available working time, but we really don't need a project status meeting right at the beginning of the project. So what we're going to do is to not create the one task occurrence. We're going to click No here. Now you can see our recurring meeting dates. They start on January 8th, and then on the 15th, 22nd, and 29th. You can also see the little bars on the Gantt chart representing those meetings. And also notice that it's a part of the public launch phase, because I inserted a task here and project automatically maintains the level of indentation. So what I want to do is select that weekly status meeting, and I want to outdent it so that it stands alone. Okay, I can't outdent any further. And for my purposes of working, I might keep it rolled up, but when I distribute the plan for the team, I want them to see the individual meetings on here. And again, as I mentioned, we could assign resources to the meetings, but again, these are typically just reminders, just short meetings, and they would have a huge impact on the project. So that's all it takes to add a recurring meeting, and that ends our navigation session. Now it's time for you to practice. Add the recurring weekly 1-hour project status meeting on Friday and resave your file. Lesson 6 consists of 7 parts. You just completed part 3 of 7. Please proceed to watch part 4.